Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. We post an interview with an amazing Canadian each weekday for your daily inspiration. Today, I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, Kate McKenzie. Kate was born in Calgary and absolutely loves this city. Lucky us. She tells me that she feels blessed to have an amazing partner, Leo Rothschild, who makes the world a better place and also happens to be her very best friend. In fact, I was at the wedding. It was the coolest wedding ever. So nice. Oh my God. It's love. Kate comes from a tight-knit family that encouraged her adventurous spirit, and she's living up to the career advice that she received from her parents. Do something you love and something that will make the world better. And she does that every day. Kate is also about to embark on a new adventure as she's expecting their first child this September. Besides Kate's family, she's extremely passionate about inspiring and empowering others. She's the happiest when she gets to do that through her love of creativity, education, and entrepreneurship. Friends, you'll find her full bio attached. Kate, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's so good to connect with you, Catherine. This is absolutely lovely.
I feel the same. I miss you so much. It's been a long time.
Too long. We got to find more ways to connect. So I love that you reached out around Cat Tracks. This is awesome.
I'm glad. Well, you've been on my list since day one. It's just a big list.
You got a lot of friends, Catherine. It's okay.
Lucky me.
Yeah,
it's a great
thing
city
to have many of.
I agree. Well, you've got the same, so we're the same.
That's right. You know what? A good list of friends and some great shoes, and you're ready to tackle the world, I think.
I agree, 100%. Are you ready for the questions that we sent your way?
I am. Fire away.
Perfect. So your greatest challenge in the last few months?
Well, as I think a lot of business owners have experienced, COVID kind of threw a wrench in a lot of plans, right? And so for me, I run a production company and we specialize in documentary film. And the film that we've been working on most recently is called The Secret Marathon, right? And so it's about the first women to run a marathon in Afghanistan. It's an incredible story of just these amazing women that have really taken on a huge challenge where they couldn't even go for a run or a walk, without people throwing rocks at them or being insulted or even being called things like prostitutes, right? Receiving terrorist threats, all of these things. And yet they overcame those challenges to be able to do something that, I think a lot of us take for granted, just going for a run or a walk in your own neighborhood, right? And so we made this film. We've been so excited to share it. It was doing really well in, film festivals, and we were even receiving awards from it, packing out theaters here in Calgary. We were so excited to work with the Calgary Underground Film Festival. We released the tickets for the festival, and it sold out the first theater. So the festival was like, would you be okay if we opened a second theater? Like, yes, please. Yes. They opened that. It sold out. Like, Calgarians have just come out and supported. Same thing in Edmonton. We had sold out show there at the Edmonton International Film Festival. So we were just, riding high on this energy and so excited about it, and had just landed a distribution deal to be able to bring this film even further, right? Because that's always been our goal, is to share it with as wide of an audience as possible, because we really believe that, the message of gender equality that it brings, but also this message of hope is really needed right now. And so we had landed a deal where it was supposed to be in theaters in Australia, New Zealand, the US, and the UK, and here in Canada on June 10th. And as you can imagine, theaters were not exactly open on June 10th. Oh. So that was a huge challenge, right? And I think when you feel like you're riding this wave of momentum, right? And then something like that hits, you have to step back and go, okay, so what now, right? How do we get creative about this, right? How do we solve for this? And I think that's something I do every day as well. I also work with ATB X, which is an accelerator for entrepreneurs. And I love being able to work with entrepreneurs to help them grow their business. And, a lot of the messages I'm having with them right now is, okay, well, how can you pivot? How can you get creative? How can we take what you have been good at, but make it work in this new pandemic reality? And I had to kind of take that advice and use it on myself and say, okay, what are we going to do, right? If the traditional route doesn't work, what else can we explore? And so I think what I'm looking at now is, how do we create really great virtual events? How do we make the online experience as good or better than what we could do in person? And I think that's a big challenge, because my goal is always that, hey, if you show up, if you brush your hair and you put on some makeup to come to my virtual event, then I better make it good, right? I better make it worth your time to showing up and to change out of your jammies, right? And so I think that's what I'm actually really excited about exploring right now, is how do we make these events worth showing up for live and in person, and not just something that you could tune into YouTube anytime, right? And so that's been kind of neat to explore, and I'm excited to share that, we've got some things we're cooking up, Catherine. So soon I will let you know that we're going to be hosting a very cool online gala event, and we'll have more details, more dates for you, because we don't want to have this story limited just because people can't go to theaters. We want to create a safe and cool experience so that people can still hear this story of hope.
I love it. Wow, that's really good to know. What an awesome update.
Yeah, well, when you don't see each other for a while, some things happen.
Sure. And only you to be this creative, of course, my dear. I am very proud. I'm looking forward to promoting that like mad.
Well, you know what? I've got an amazing team. Like, that's been the coolest thing about working on this film from the very beginning, is there's just been such an incredible community that's come together around this story. And so we've been really blessed. Myself and my co-producer, Martin Parnell, he has just been amazing to work with and has been supportive at every step of the way. And, we've been able to get so much support too from the running community. And so runners all around the globe that have said, hey, I believe in this message. I want to support. What can I do? Right. And so that's been incredible. We've had all the people that came out to the film festivals. It's just been amazing to see a community of people that come around saying, of course, everyone should be safe to go for a run or a walk in their community. Of course, that should be a thing. Right. And so we've really been encouraged and bolstered up, I think, by that community. Right.
That's awesome. And by the way, Martin, when you hear this, you're on my list. Yeah.
Amazing. He is a great human being. I've learned so much from working with Martin.
I love him. He's awesome. And what about the 3 things that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, I was thinking about what 3 things would I love to get your audience excited about. And of course, one of them is the Secret Marathon. So if you're intrigued by the film, and or if you just need some good news in your life, if you're kind of feeling overwhelmed, a big part of why I started making these kinds of films was because I found that when I turned on my morning news, oftentimes there was just so much negative news. And I think nowadays, I was joking with my partner, Lior, that sometimes it feels like it's the COVID report, right? And, I think we need positive inputs in our life. And so, with my production company, we're committed to creating positive inputs. And so, I would definitely encourage you that if you need some positive inputs in your life, check out and follow the Secret Marathon. You can see what we're doing, but we try to share stories of updates of cool things that are happening, not only with the film, but also just some positive messages so that you can stay connected to that. And so, if you do follow on social, you'll also be able to see our little trailer so you can get inspired. So if you need a little dose of inspiration today to get you through the workday, then go there or check out thesecretmarathon.com, and you'd be able to find that trailer there as well. And it'll just give you that little extra pick-me-up that you need, right? And then, the other thing that's been so amazing about this is that out of the film, it's really actually sparked a movement for equality. And so one of the things that's come out of it is that we started what we call the Secret 3K. And so that's held every March on the week of International Women's Day. And we do a 3-kilometer run or walk. And, now virtual runs and walks are all the rage. But we've actually been doing this for the last 3 years, because when we first started doing it, we held it in 10 cities across Canada with the support of Running Room, our corporate partner here. And they have been amazing to work with. They helped us be able to, along with John Stanton, who is the founder of Running Room, helped us to be able to make it go all the way across the country, and it just keeps growing. But we started receiving emails from people who said like, well, I want to participate, but I'm not in one of these 10 cities. Can I still do it? And we thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
So we started hosting virtual participants. And so now literally anywhere you are in the world, you can join us, which I think is so cool, and be able to, join a movement of equality. So whether you want to do it on your own, do it with your son or daughter or a friend or your running group or whatever, right? We all come together during this week of International Women's Week to be able to say that everyone deserves to be able to be free to run, that, whether it's your gender or your race or your religious identity, that shouldn't be a barrier as to why you could move your body, right? And so our next event is happening on March 10th of 2021. So get ready for that. If you're following us on social, you'll see all of our announcements when the registrations come open. But it's just such a positive event where you meet so many cool people. And whether you're participating, in person, hopefully we're all participating in person because we'll have vaccines and it'll be amazing. But, even if we're participating virtually, you can feel the energy as you watch it go across each time zone and people posting their photos and showing off what they completed. So would love to have people join us for that. And then I think the other thing is that, for me, I've just been so inspired in the film work that I've done, but also by the entrepreneurs I've worked with, to see that, each person is finding their own way to change the narrative, right? So I think it's really easy to get sucked into like, this sucks, everything is bad, the world is terrible, right? And I think of the women that I met in Afghanistan, they faced all of these incredible challenges, and yet they didn't let that stop them, right? And so I've seen where that the first year that the Marathon of Afghanistan was held, there was one woman who participated, and her participation sparked interest. The second year, or the year that I was attending, there were 6 Afghan women that participated. And every year since then, it's doubled. So then 12, then we had 22, then 44. It's incredible to see that ripple effect. So when you have the courage to kind of step out of your comfort zone and say, you know what, I'm just going to try, even though this is hard. And I think a lot of people are facing challenging times right now with the pandemic, whether you're a business owner, whether you are, you may have lost your job, or whether you're dealing with friends and family that are dealing with COVID. This isn't easy. A lot of us are struggling, but I think even just finding little ways, whether that's taking a couple moments out of your day to find a positive input that you can take in, or finding ways to start changing up the narrative, right? So with the businesses I work with, I encourage them, get connected into your community. And so definitely, if you're a business owner, apply to ATB X. That's the program I run. We work with businesses to help them grow their business. And, there's free advisory services that we provide. I think it's like, take that opportunity, connect with other people, because I think it helps just to know you're not the only person facing this, right? And then if you're not a business person, find your own way. How do you change the narrative for yourself? One of the things I've been kind of challenging myself to do during this time is I started doing window paintings on my front door.
Aww.
So about every week I change the painting, and I'm just using like tempera paints from my local art supply store. It's super easy. You can do this. And I've been finding like different quotes to post, or different like just nice images, so that it's something that when I come home, or when I leave and enter my house, I get a positive message from me. But then my neighbors are also commenting on it now too.
Oh, that's awesome.
They'll come over and I catch people like taking photos of it,
Aww.
And so I think that ripple effect can happen, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. So maybe it's as simple as like putting up a little poster. You don't have to have like artistic skills. You can write something nice and put it up for your neighbors and for yourself to see in your home, because, even just doing something as simple as that changes the narrative, right? And I think that's what we need to do right now. We just need to find ways to kind of change the narrative for ourselves.
I'm with you. I've stopped listening to the news. In fact, my sweetheart and I, from the beginning, within the first week, we went, we're good. And actually 2 weeks ago, I don't know, what would that have been? Beginning of August, we turned it on just to see, maybe there's something we're missing. Nope, nothing. It was the exact same.
Well, and I think it's all about finding that balance in life, right? Like, I think there are times in life where honestly, the stuff you're facing is already significant enough. You don't need to have additional challenges. I mean, for me, I've always really, I want to be a global citizen. I want to know what's happening in the world. And I'm just far too curious to turn off the news completely. So I think for me, it's been about how do I find that balance, right? How do I, yes, listen to my CBC because I'm a giant CBC nerd, and listen to my BBC and get all of that input, but then also balance that out with pieces like Positive News, which is a great website. Definitely check that out.
It is.
And just so that there's balance, right? So that you're not just getting the negative, or I have some great things on my Instagram feed, people that I follow that just have positive stories or even beautiful things. Like I love following the Nat Geo travel on Instagram and just seeing beautiful images from around the world. I'm definitely, meeting some of my travel bug needs.
Oh, I hear you. Filtering for the positive is what I do. Yeah.
Totally. And I
Mhm.
think it's just, having a slightly different lens on how you're approaching things, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And that what we're told is not necessarily the exact truth. So to dig a little deeper, we need some critical thinking.
Absolutely. And I think that only happens when we're willing to kind of be open to looking at multiple different perspectives, right? I think
Agree.
it's really easy to get trapped in sort of your own filter bubble where you're only hearing people that agree with you. You only see things that are exactly the same as what you think. And I think right now we're in such an interesting time, especially, with some of the movements like Black Lives Matter, to be able to be challenged to think differently, I think is a really good thing. And so, it's something I definitely am trying to do. Like I have a challenge for myself to try to read 24 books each year. And I try to pick books that are by people that have different perspectives than me so that, that way I'm not just stuck in that same bubble all the time. Right.
For
And
sure.
sometimes I'm reading the book and I'm like, oh man, I really massively disagree. But that's okay. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good to be
exactly.
challenged, right?
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate. That was wonderful.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Do you have a good news or legacy story you'd like to, or anything in closing that you'd like to say?
Well, I think, when I saw your question about legacy, I thought about that. And, you know, I think the big thing for me that I'm thinking about right now is, we never know what's going to happen in our lives. And how do we live in such a way that we know that we've done something good. And so you mentioned right off the top the career advice I got from my parents, and they said, to do something that you love and something that makes the world a little bit better. And right now, as I am about to embark on this new journey of becoming a mom, I'm three weeks away now from this little baby making her appearance. I mean, who knows? She might come out sooner than that. I'm hoping not. Still got things to get done. But, I think about her arrival and I think, will I be proud to share with her what I'm doing? And I think, yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
so excited that we're working together as a community to build a world where every woman, regardless of where she is born, has the ability to go for a run or a walk in her community. Like that's something I want to tell my little baby girl about. And I want her to live in a world where her gender does not limit her. And so I think when I think about legacy, that's to me, it doesn't always have to be so grand and big. It doesn't have to involve, having my name on monuments or anything like that. My grandfather once said that, you write your legacy is written on people's hearts, not in
Aw.
stone. And I
Oh,
think if we can make a difference in people's hearts, if we can make a movement where people actually want to create more safe and inclusive communities where everyone is safe to go for a run or a walk, then we've done something right. And I think that's what I hope to do, right? I hope to be able to inspire people to say this kind of change is possible and to empower them to be able to actually go out there and make a difference in their own community.
that was wonderful. And by the way, you're making a huge impact. So whether it's on a stone or not, the ripple effect of what you're doing is rapidly changing our world. And I'm delighted that the work that you're doing is been amazing for many. I went to the film. I absolutely loved it. And I'm grateful for all the things that you're doing for all of us.
Well, thank you, Catherine. I mean, it wouldn't be possible without people like you that are supporting and, attending the films and sharing the story, right? Like, I think that's how we make these things grow, right? By coming alongside one another. And big kudos to you, because I think we need more people that are those ambassadors and champions of great ideas. And I see that's what you're doing with Cat Tracks, and I love that, in that we need to be able to hear about them. So I think, yeah, kudos to you. This is a very cool idea.
Thanks, Kate. Thank you. It's been wonderful spending time with you today. I very much look forward to seeing your baby girl. Can't wait. I know you'll share online at least, right? So
we will let the world know when she makes her debut.
I look forward. Many blessings to you and your family, my dear friend. I love you. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That was Kate McKenzie. Check out the Secret Marathon and all the great work that she's doing. What an impact on our world. Thanks again for joining us on Cat's Track. We'll see you next time.